everybody, Steffi here from The Makers. You're watching this live if you're here today with me on 23rd of July 2020, and if you're watching it any time after, then obviously it's not live, and a lot of it might not make sense to you necessarily, but I'll try and connect the two as much as I can. So let's see who's here today. That's always the exciting bit. Let's have a look. So we've got, who have we got there? We've got, oh, lots of people. You've all been chatting. Well, actually, I have been quite a bit dithery. It's not my fault. It was all technical, of course. It's never my fault. So Mo is there. Diane is there. We've got Carol there. Jack, is that how you pronounce it? Jack is here for the first time. That's excellent. Alicia, I also worked out that I'm the only one to say Alicia. No, you're not. I'm not. You are also allowed to say Alicia, but that's not really her name, because her name is Alicia. So there. And Valley is there. And Emma, of course, is there in the disguise of the Makers. Still on holiday, so thanks to her. Thank you very much, Emma, for doing this. Jan is there, Laura is there, Teresa is there, and Jackie is there. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Karen. Lots of chatting going on. I don't even think I'm part of that. So, can you all hear me? I think you can hear me now. I was on mute a minute ago, but I've unmuted myself. So hopefully not too much there. Erica is there. Okay, so I don't know how the buffering is going today, because last time it was really, really bad, and I do apologize, but I've been reliably informed that when you watch it later again, the buffering doesn't exist. So it's just a live issue rather than an issue in general with the video itself. And we've got lots to do today, because we're doing Toadstools, and I've sort of pulled out everything Toadstooly that we can possibly offer to you, and I've actually worked out that the Christmas wool mix is a perfect one to make Toadstools. Oh, that doesn't look very good. I've already dug into this, so it's a big bag, because I used it also to make the what do you call them, the robins and the puddings. So you can you have definitely lots of colors in there. You've got the white for the core, you've got the red if you want to make red toadstools, and then you've also got green and brown in there, which actually works quite well in case you wanted to make a little toadstool pin cushion. You don't get these curly bits. These are the red Leicester curls, but you definitely get green and brown, so you could be filling a cup with it and then having a toadstool pin cushion. At the moment it doubles up as a mole bed. So there you go. Okay, I understand I'm buffering a lot, so I'm going to have a little look at the settings. I'm already on a really low output, so I'm going to go even lower and see if that's any better. I do apologize for this. This is one of the reasons why in the future we will be doing the 3 o'clock streaming, because then I think there's less business with the Wi-Fi all around. A lot of businesses around here close early, and certainly staff members here, some of them are part-time and they're leaving at 3, so they're not using the internet. So I hope this is any better, but I'm really sorry if I'm just, I don't know, doing all kinds of funny things on the screen. So if I'm doing that, then please feel free to just chat to each other, or maybe watch it later when everything will be completely coherent, hopefully. So I just have a little look what you're all saying here. Mine is buffering a lot, but I can hear Steffi. Okay, when it's not, yes, buffering. I should have a nickname called Buffuck, shouldn't I? Yes, I love the way you say my name, Steffi. Oh, thank you, Alicia. So I really don't know what to do about this. And also the other thing I need to say is that we have got help. Hopefully by next week we have got a better Wi-Fi reception here. It's not actually the reception, it's the data upload that is really rubbish here. We're getting enough data download, but it can't go up. That's how I visualize it anyway. So we have to squeeze it through a really, really small pipe, up, all the way up to you, and then you get it down, down, down. But as of next week, hopefully we have much, much better capacity. So fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm going to continue because that's all I can do, and start with, if you're making the toadstool, you need some white or some off-white wool. Now, you expect me to say that, but the lanolin rich wool is absolutely perfect for this because it's got that sort of really off-white creamy color, and so I'm going to use that for, so I'm going to use that for the toadstool stem. The other thing, if the buffering has got better, then I'm clearly doing the right thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to even go lower with the output. If the quality of this video therefore suffers, then let me know, because then I have to go the other way again. But I've gone even lower now, so you might not see so much detail, but at least I'm not pulling funny faces and getting stuck halfway through a sentence. So I've just pulled off a random piece of wool, because you can make these toadstools small size, even smaller, like this, or you can make them actually really big, like that, or like that, or like that. So it's entirely up to you what size you want to do, but for the sake of today, I'm going to use sort of like a patch that hides my hand, and sort of, what is that, a size, have a guess, a size 6 shoe size. How about that for measurement? So that's what I'm going to use, and then I'm going to go a little bit smaller so you can see me do this better. Right, so there's my bit of wool. You can see it's I've got really big hands, so if you've got small hands, don't go too much by it. But I would say 10 grams. This is probably about 10 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this into an oblong sausage, and if you can see, I'm tucking the sides in, but I am just making sure that I get as many wraps now as it gets to the wispier bit. So I'm pulling these out. These wool butts are so nice to work with, and I'm tucking these fibers in for as long as I can, roll it up, and then when I finally end up just with these wispy bits here, that's when I'm going to use my felting mat. This is of course the earth mat, and all I'm going to do now is I'm stabbing these wispy ends in, just so that I can let go of this sausage shape and it doesn't pop open. So now I've made this sausage shape and it stays nice and closed. Now I'm going to move the mat away, because you don't always have to use a mat. You can actually do it without. And for this one, what we want to do is we want to make it so that it really stands much more comfortably than that. I've already chosen to use that as the top, and so this is going to be the base and this is going to be the top, because it just seems to be more naturally in that way. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And so if you have any other wool, I would definitely say use you definitely use the bats. Don't use tops. A lot of people ask, well, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And you're not doing anything wrong. You're just using the wrong wool. So the bats work really well, the lanolin rich especially, and now I'm making a really flat base. Now to make a flat base, it works really well to work on the very, very inner part of this side of the sausage, because what you almost want to do is you want to make almost an indentation. So can you see how that is a slight indentation? It's better than making it, if you stab too close to the edge, you'll just round the edge off, and then you have a round base rather than a nice flat one, and it works better if it's a slight dint in there. That's not a word, by the way, that's a Steffi word. I've made that up, a dint. I like it better than dent, so I keep being told don't use that word. I used another word today that I use regularly. You know, when you have to give your children lots of lifts. I was saying today to my colleague that yesterday it was one of those days where everybody needed to be in a different place, and I always say to ferret the children around. I don't really know why I say that, but if you knew ferrets, they do drag each other from one place to another. It's apparently ferry children around, but in my world I'm ferreting children around. So it's another Steffi word that I've got used to. Right, so I've made that an indentation, and that really now stands solid. So it's not, you know, it's really quite a good base. And so now I need to round off the top a little bit, and for that I'm using my needle and I'm going all across the top. So this is the difference from making something flat to making something round, that you're actually going in a semicircle across the top. So you're tucking the fibers in all around there. Now, because I'm using the lanolin rich wool and I've rolled it up quite tightly, I actually have already quite a good solid shape. So I'm not I'm quite pleased with that you don't have to stab so much. I'm using a coarse needle, so stabbing that all around and giving it sort of a stumpy shape. And it's the lanolin rich that I'm using because it's our favorite wool. When I say it's sticky, I mean that in the nicest possible way. But when you roll up anything, because of it's got sort of almost like a Velcro-y feel to it. It's of course the lanolin that gives it that sort of stickiness. When you roll it into a shape, it actually almost stays closed without you having to stab the needle. And so we love this wool. It works really great wrapping it around wire, but it also works really great around doing it for quick shaping. And it's a really lovely, almost like sort of a rich cream color. So it's a natural white, but it's perfect for toadstools and mushrooms and for all kinds of other things. Can you see how it's actually, it almost is really bouncy and lofty and absolutely delicious to work with. Yeah, delicious, definitely delicious. Right, so I've made a stumpy bit here now. There, like that, stands really nicely. It's got a nice round top here. I'm just going to go to a different camera setting so I can show you this for real as well. It's now standing solidly in my hand, and now of course I need to make the top. Now there are lots of ways of adding the top over the top. I'll show you my way, but you might find other ways just as useful, or maybe you come up with your own creation, your own design, and that's absolutely fine, because with needle felting there's just so much that happens. It's a personal journey that you're on, and you might find another way that works much better for you. So my way is that I use some red. Now, talking about the reds that we have got a red. This one here is our variegated red. I really love this, actually. This comes also in the Christmas wool mix. I love this red because it's when we say variegated, it's got a tiny black fiber running through it. You can't really, well, maybe you can see it if I hold it really close up. Can you see that it's not plain red compared to this one? It's quite a different, it's slightly darker. This is our poppy red, and it literally is poppy red. So if you see this slightly different on your screen, it is a poppy red. You can also use, of course, an orange. This is a bright orange for your toadstool. Or you could use, oh, I haven't got that here even now. Oh, yes, I have it here. This one is our, what we call our red orange. It's actually an orange. That's the poppy red. So this is how they look different. But it's a perfect color also for poppies and for toadstools, why ever not? Or you could mix the two. But today I'm using the variegated red. It's a New Zealand merino mixed with some, I think it's stone sheep in there. So that's the black fibers in there. I'm going to go small again. Just bear with me. So there is now my my red, and now I'm going to use more of a round shape. So it is still a flat piece, so it's still a wool bat, not a top. Again, I want that. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the outline of my toadstool. I felt this onto the felting mat like that. This is going to be a little bit bigger than the other toadstools that I've made, or that you've seen earlier. And I'm making an outline like that. So now I've got a little mound here with wispy ends sticking out, and then I'm going to put the wispy ends over the top and felt them down onto that toadstool. So I'm making I'm making a top so that it's nice, a flat top that is nice and neat on the outsides. So this is just helping me to make a round disc shape. And whenever you needle felting flat onto your mat, don't get carried away and keep stabbing away. You must lift that off as soon as you can. So now it's a nice round shape, and I'm going to lift this off now. And it's actually, it looks sort of, it's a nice, it's like a pancake shape, pancake thickness, maybe even, if you like thick pancakes. Definitely not a crepe. And now I'm going to work on this. So I have to now shape this and flatten it. And all I'm doing is I'm just keep stabbing the needle into it. And I'm working with a single needle, but if you prefer a multi-tool, you can use a multi-tool. It just speeds the process up. And you're stabbing this now from both sides. So you can turn it over, stab it from the other side as well. So that you're, you notice that I'm not going too close to the edge, because I want the edge needs to stay quite round. So I keep going over this, just show you if you're using a multi-tool what that might look like. So if you've got the 3-needle multi-tool, then it might look like this one. We've got a new one at the moment that we're selling, which is the Clover one, which is a little bit more expensive but much better. And you can see how much faster, you can see the indentation that I'm making here, really going to town on that piece here now. And whatever side you're stabbing, wherever you're sort of stabbing away from the edge, that's sort of the shaping where it takes place. So if decide which side is the nicest side and make that as your top side. So I'm now only working from one side, and this is going to be the bottom. So I'm only working from one side now, because I've decided this is the side that didn't look so nice, and I'm just felting around, so leaving this thicker edge on the outside. So this is my top now, and then I'm going to do a little bit of shaping separately from my toadstool. And for this, you have to watch your fingers, but I'm going to pinch the sides of the toadstool, and I'm stabbing into it so that the edges sort of fuse together. I'm going all the way around and do that as neat as I can do. It won't be perfect, because toadstools aren't perfect like that. Sometimes they look sort of a bit more like a cup that's a bit wonky. So the reason why I say watch your fingers is because you are pinching this to give it more of a 3D shape. Okay, and you can see the difference here. So I've now created a ridge there. Hope you can see this okay in the camera. And I think the output, I think the buffering hopefully has gone now, because I can see that I've got a green light here, and a green light is always good. So I'm going all the way around, I'm pinching this, I'm folding it over, so I'm pre-shaping it a little bit to fit onto my toadstool in a minute. And like I say, there are lots of ways of making this cup. This is not exclusively the only one. The smaller you make the cup, you less detail you have to do beforehand. You might be able to just put it on top without having to make that sort of round shape happen now. But I am going all the way around and giving it a bit of a pre-shaping so that it already becomes sort of more of a dish shape. So you can see now it's a lot more shaped than it was before. Ready to be put onto my toadstool there. Okay, so I'll show you the next step in a minute, but I'm just going to have a quick look at what you all are up to and see if I'm missing any of the comments. So oh yes, I mentioned the wool. How do you pronounce your name? Oh yes, so is I don't know if Jack, or if that's the right way, has come back, but I'm probably going to read that in a minute. So Steffi is using the lanolin ridge, just for those who haven't seen it, but you can also use the standard core. You can also use we've got a really nice almost sort of light beige wool, that's the fox sheep. You could also use our basic core wool. It's a little bit harder to felt down and to have a nice finish on the outside, but you can definitely use that. You could use our Shetland, it's quite a white wool. You could use our Gotland white, and you can use our New Zealand natural wool as well. I just love the lanolin ridge, but that's just me and lots of other people. Oh yes, and Emma likes it too. Her favorite core wool. Pam, hi Pam. Thank you, Emma. I ran to the top of chat and was reading to catch up. Oh, excellent. So Pam, Pamela, what time is it with you? I never remember this, so you can always tell us again. Karen says, being in Canada, the price doubled, so I have to really make a big one. A big one-time order in process now. Oh, excellent. I can imagine it does, Karen. Oh yes. So basically, that's. Oh, good morning, says Pamela. So I'm so good. I'm always reading upside down. Go back and forth and back and forth. Anyway, you know me by now. Right, so this little cup obviously is still separate from my toadstool, and now I'm going to fasten it on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to stab into the top here. I'm going to go a bit closer again. I might just go to a different view so you see more of the 3D-ness of it. So I'm going to stab into the top just so that I can let go of it now. So this is fastening the red top onto my white stump, like that. Now toadstools, they're not just sort of cups sitting on top of a stump. They also have like white stuff underneath, or slightly off-white stuff underneath, like I don't really know what they're called, but they're like gills on fish, aren't they? So at the moment it's just like this. It's fastened on, it's not coming off, can't get it off, it's fastened on. But now we want to make it so that it doesn't look like just fastened on there. If you've made this cup and it's way too big, you have two options. You can either take it off again, use your 3-needle felting tool, or you can use a single needle. But if you go into any shape at a right angle, you always have to remember where you stab your needle. Sorry, this is like causing major shakes here on my camera. Sorry, it's not an earthquake. So if you can see this, actually I'm going to go just really small right now so you can see that. If you go sideways into your work, can you see how this pushes the work in that direction? Wherever you stab the needle is where the reduction takes place. So I'm only using the 3-needle felting tool to give you a better demonstration of this. So to make it smaller, you could just keep stabbing that way and it will shrink it down in that way. You could also roll in the outside a bit more, so you're almost creating a new ridge by just stabbing, by rolling that bit over. Remember that this definitely now needs to be on the underneath. That's another way. And if you're really struggling to do any of this, you could actually cut it smaller and then just cover the cut area with a little bit, with a dusting of new wool. But that will make your cup smaller, and I've committed now, so I've got to make mine a bit smaller too. Just try and keep that as round as I can. So you can see you can reduce the size quite easily. This is what I love about needle felting. Nothing's ever lost because you can just, I don't know, there's always ways out of it somehow. So don't despair, don't work with something that you don't like, just change it. And it hasn't changed the shape at all, other than that the size has become smaller. So I'm going to go to that one here again. So now I want to, I'm going to put, and you can see where I've been stabbing the fibers in. This is actually the red wool that was pushed through, which is, just remember that for a minute because that's quite important with what I'm telling you next. So stab the top on again and just put that on there again. There we go. So that's what I earlier did. So it's still, it just looks like a cup fastened on there. So what you can do now is you use some of your white wool, and now you're going to add a little trim underneath. But what you need to be mindful of now is that if you stab really deep into the red cup, the white will come through. So you don't want to do that. You want to stab very superficially, almost just fasten it on gently, and then from the other side you can stab into it so that you can shape it. So you can stab this white, I'm actually swapping and switching around with needles, whichever works for you. There is no right or wrong way which needle to use. You have to, the way that you know that the needle works for you is that the reduction takes place where you're stabbing. The needle doesn't bounce off. If it bounces off, you have too thick a needle. And if it's just stabbing into it and nothing happens, then you are using too fine a needle for your wool. So what I don't want to happen is I don't want these white fibers to come out. So I'm only stabbing it very gently. And now, because I've got a base underneath it, now I can fold that cap further down and fasten it to that white rim that I've put underneath it, so that it looks more like it's not just sitting on top. So I'm just going to do the other side. So I use a little bit of this, put it around there, felt it on, not just onto the red, but I'm also going into the top of the white. So I'm just creating a little rim there, going all the way around now. Got enough there. Just gently stabbing it, so I'm not stabbing through the red. So I've got lots of white coming out. You might see a few wispy bits coming out. And then once you've done that, now you can shape your toadstool more around that rim that you've put underneath. So don't be afraid to really stab into the side now, because you know you've got that wool that you've added onto it underneath. You know you're not stabbing into nothingness. You know you're stabbing into the white wool, and you can just work your way around that rim. And sometimes you may have to revisit that bit underneath and add a little bit more or whatever. But that will now help you to add that bulk under the toadstool, which is exactly what you want. I've seen people do all kinds of things, that they build this up really a lot, and so it's visible, and then they even put lines in it. Like I said, it looks a little bit like gills. So if that is what, like fish gills, I think that's what they're called anyway. So if that's what you want to do, then feel free to do that. But now it has got a base underneath it. There is a bit, could be doing a bit more there. And the more you want this to be round, then just felt it down more now, because you know that you can do that. You're not felting into nothingness, and all the while you're making this more solid. So I'm just working my way around there now. You're firming up the top, you're making it smoother, and I'm just trying different needles as I'm going along. It's always great to have a selection of needle. If ever you want to try out all of our needle, we have actually got a mega mix that has got every single needle that we sell in different quantities, but you get one of each needle in this mega mix, and it's a really great way of trying all the needles. And don't think, oh, I mustn't try this needle, this isn't wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Everybody has got different preferences, and only you will know which needle to use, and only you will know which needle will work for you. So don't be afraid of trying different needles, just go for it. That's the only way you find out which needle works for you. So I'm making this a lot rounder now. Can you see how this is shaping, and the sides of the toadstools are coming down by just stabbing now into the sides. And because I've got this extra white around the inside, I'm just going to turn this around because then you can see it better where this is going. It's felting into the white, and the white is going into the top of that stump, or that toadstool stem. And this is looking quite nice, actually. I'm really pleased with this one. It's a nice shape. It if you like perfect toadstools, then you can work on them if you want, and just keep adding or stabbing wherever. I quite like it when they're a little bit wonky and a little bit more like they are in nature. So let's have a look. There you go. Now I've got a toadstool that hasn't got any spots yet, but they're the easiest thing to add, as you can imagine. I'm just going to see what comments are happening here. I think we've established that Jack is actually Jackie, so we've got two Jackies here today. I've got to, oh my goodness, I've got to read back so many Cornish, oh, we're talking about Cornish seaside tops now. I can't keep up with you guys. There is just so much. I think I've gone way back to the top again. We haven't really talked about Cornish seaside tops. Oh yes, I've gone really right up to the top. Okay. I hope you've all seen the mole preview making the little Mr. Mole, which is happening. Ooh, Mrs. Mole has just fallen down, which is happening on Tuesday, the 28th of July, over on the get this right, the Creative Craft Show's Facebook page, and you can book onto this. It's only a very, very small token amount of £8, and we've already decided that we're going to have special codes that we will make available on that day for you, so that you can get that money back in no time at all. So okay, so I don't know how the quality of it all is now, but oh, I love it, Valley. The sound was your fault. Oh, I'm so glad that wasn't me this time. Oh, it's 6:25 a.m. In is it Oregon? I think that's where Pamela is viewing from. My head of the stool is too big. What do I do? Oh, we've covered that, Erica. Hopefully you've been able to do this. It's 9:25 in Canada. That's a little bit more decent than 6:25. Here is a handy page from our website about white wools. Thank you, Emma. So we have a core pack selection or taster pack as well, which is definitely good. It's 14:27 here. Yeah, I know that because that is UK time. Thank you, Emma. I had the sound off to get the update and will have to start over. Did my top completely wrong. Oh no. Sorry, Alicia. Well, you can't do it really wrong. You might have just found a different way. So don't get don't get despaired. And Karen says, I'm also making your robin baubles. I'm on the 3rd so far. Oh, you've got the robin bug. Nice. Love Mr. Mole. Thank you, Karen. And the quality of the maker's needles versus the cheapy ones you get on Amazon in those packs is shocking. I love maker's needles. Yesterday I really noticed when I was using the multi-tool. So let me tell you about needles. And this is nothing to do with me being German, but I think it does. The ones that you really love are the coarse ones, and it sounds like I'm about to snot. It's such a horrible name to say, coarse. And they are made in Germany, engineered in Germany, designed in Germany, lovely packed in Germany, and we buy them and have them shipped over from Germany. And they're really, really brilliant. If you use any other needles, it doesn't mean to say that you can't needle felt, but it's a little bit like what you don't know, you don't know that you're missing it. So if you start on the better quality needles, you not want to go back to the other ones. But it doesn't mean to say that your felting needles don't work. It just means that you are noticing the difference. That's a little bit like if you're buying a kit and you're starting out with polystyrene. You think, oh, this is amazing. Just put this polystyrene, cover it with wool. Great stuff. But actually, once you know how easy it is to make your own core shape, all from wool, and then you've got the flexibility of shaping it and doing all kinds of things with it, you think, why did I ever start out with polystyrene? It's how we learn, it's how we progress, it's how we find better things that work for us better. So yes, of course we want you to buy our needles from us, but don't despair if you haven't got them yet. Christmas is coming. So what else have we got? Oh yes, and the other one that I was going to say, where have I put this now? There is a really good wool pack too, another one, this one, that works extremely well for toadstools as well, especially if you want to make maybe slightly different colors. And it's the Making Simple Needle Felts wool pack. We put this together because the Making Simple Needle Felts book, that one, has got all of these projects. The colors are actually in that pack. So if you look closely, you can make virtually everything in the book from this pack. And if you've spotted it, there is actually a little toadstool boy in there. You can make a toadstool girl, of course. And that's a whole different thing altogether. So that is based on the people, fairies and angels instructions, which of course you would get if you get our fairy box, but it's also in the book. And so this is just giving you ideas what else you can do, but really quite cute with a little You can see that the white under there is a lot more white still. So, and that also reminds me that we are now in July, which means you've got very, very few days left now to get our wild rose fairy. She's sitting there looking all pretty and lovely. But you can also look forward to the sunflower fairy, and she's sitting there. She's quite beautiful, actually. She's got lovely decorations, like some ladybirds in her hair, and then she's got these lovely sunflowers. She's quite a big fairy that you can hang up, and she looks like a sunflower, like a big sunflower, especially if you sort of spread out her dress a little bit more. Than she looks almost like a sunflower herself. But very excited. The autumn sprite is coming, and guess what she's holding in her hand? Have you spotted her? She's sitting here all nice and neat on her big toadstool. And the reason why I'm saying this is, for starters, she's holding a toadstool. You get this in the fairy box. But how about you make her a nice big toadstool to sit on? Wouldn't that be nice? So she's she's got legs, this one. Similar to the Forget-Me-Not fairy, where you can give her little legs, she's wearing brown boots, and she's she's really lovely, and she is definitely one that would appreciate a few toadstools around her. So make her a nice big toadstool to sit on, and then you're already ready for your autumn fairy, which is of course not until September. If you love toadstools, it's one of the things that I found is, if people like toadstools, they like them in all varieties, whether they are made from wool, from wood, from anything. And fear not, we won't disappoint you. We have got other toadstools. So we do actually do wooden toadstools. These are untreated, plain beech wood, and they're perfectly safe for children to suck on as well. Well, you can suck on it as well. It's safe too. I'm just saying this because it's so funny when we buy these things, often from Germany, and they have their English translations, and you think I'm bad. We buy them and they're apparently spittle proof. So there you go. These are spittle proof. You can suck on them. I won't demonstrate now. They come in 3 different sizes. I think the little one might be a bit small for a small child, but certainly the others are really nice. But you don't have to give them to children. Just can play with them yourself. Lots of people decorate them. So I like the idea of if you're not into painting or anything like this, I've just used nail varnish and Tipp-Ex on top. Just make use of what you've got, right? Purple nail varnish, whatever colors you've got. You could have really nice shiny ones as well, or you could just paint them with acrylic paint, and then use proper white acrylic paint on top. But I promise you, these are nail varnish and Tipp-Ex. That's all I had at the time. And there's quite a lot of toadstool art out there. And then if you hang in there, we have a toadstool, we have a peg doll tutorial, because we also do people in that same wood. And with that, you get the tutorial of how to make a toadstool. You dress it up with felt pieces. So there's lots of different opportunities if you're toadstool mad, and I know quite a few people who are. So you're not the only ones. I wonder if there's a toadstool phobia. Now there's something to look up. Or what do you call toadstool mad people? Those who are completely obsessed with toadstools. Maybe they're called toadies or something like that. I don't know. I'm making this up now. So coming back to our toadstool, he needs his spots. And I'm going to go small to do that. Just bear with me. So if you've only got the white that I've just used for the base, then use that. Or if you've got, I'm just putting that there because it does work fine. But if you have our Christmas wool mix, then you could use a much whiter white. So I'm going to use, this is the Cape Merino. It's got lovely short fibers, and it's a really natural white. It isn't pure white. None of the wools are pure white unless they get bleached. We've also got bleached white wool to buy. If you like your spots bright white, then go for that. But all you're doing is, you can see I've just laid on wisps of wool randomly, unless you're very organized and you want them to be in exactly a symmetrical way, and I'm just stabbing it in with my needle. Now, if you've stabbed your cup nice and firmly, you don't need to do any adjustment on the outside, but if it's still a bit soft, then you just stab around the area to even out if you've made an indentation. And you notice that I'm stabbing very with very shallow little stabs, because all I'm trying to do is fasten these white spots onto my toadstool. And you can make them big and you can make them small, you can make them round, or you can make them more like flecks. You can do whatever you like, actually. So no rule for making toadstool spots. Entirely your own design and to your own liking. So you can have one that's sort of half hanging out there. My daughter actually found a toadstool last year. Was it last year? No, maybe it might have. No, I think it was last year. She found one in the forest, and it was just, it could have been taken out of a picture book. They are actually quite amazing plants, really are. I don't know, are fungi plants? You know what I mean. Whatever they are, I know they're not animals. I don't think they fall in the. Oh, somebody tell me if fungus, is fungus a plant, or is it just a fungus? Is fungus a species of its own? I have a feeling it might be. You can have one that's sort of slipping off the side, or wherever. I should have researched fungus facts. God, that's a hard word to say. More. But somebody out there will have all the answers, no doubt. So if you're willing to share, then feel free to do that. So I'm finishing my toadstool off now while I'm looking at the big screen here again, or you're looking at the big screen again. And it's as simple as that, making a toadstool. Piece of cake. There you go. Got a few spots there. If you want to dress your toadstool here underneath, again, if you've got our Christmas wool mix, perfect, or if you have got our Making Simple Needle Felts wool pack, you can actually just take a bit of green, take a little bit of brown, and there you go. There you go. You just use a bit of green. If you want to keep it just green, then just put that on there and almost paint it on by just holding onto it with your finger, as I'm doing there, like that. And you can make sort of a nice little green base. Can you see? I've literally just put it on there, and then that's the needle that keeps bouncing. And then you just stab it on, so it looks a little bit like you've got grassy bits, or grassy bits going up the sides, like this. So you can make that. You don't have to, but you could. And then if you prefer it to be brown, because they tend to be in woodland, the toadstools, then you could just use the same principle but do it in brown. It's entirely up to you how you want to dress your toadstool around the base, or don't do it at all. I'm just going to show you this now. It looks a bit weird. There, so you can either have it green or brown. And obviously stab it in a bit more to make it look more authentic. Nothing stopping you from going over the sides again, shaping the stem a little bit more if you like it, that it's thinner at the top and then more like a sort of bulbous at the base. You can do that too. So that's just a little bit more work that you need to do on this stem afterwards. So that's entirely up to you. And of course you can still use your 3 needle felting tool for that. If you're making a ginormous toadstool, then definitely I would recommend using our prim tool. The prim tool doesn't come with needles, but it has got a potential of 7 needles that you can load up in there. And that works really well. I want to stab it into, well, you can, I'll show you here. You can see it stabs right in. I wouldn't want my hands on the other side, and it really works fast. It's one of these speedy tools, and you have to load it up. I've loaded it up with medium needles. It's really easy to use because you've got that nice round top here that's non-slip, and then you've got a kind of a button there that you push and the tool pops out at the bottom, and then you even have got a single needle holder with obviously with a needle that you've put in there to use as a single needle if you wish to do that. And you can put it back in, then you've got your 7 needles, and to securely store your tool you put the needles in the other way round, and that is a really secure, it doesn't come off. It's quite a, you have to pull quite hard, which is good because you don't want that lid to come off. And what I love about it too is it stands, and then if you tip it over, because it is because it's like not round, it just rolls in a circle rather than roll straight off your table, and then you have to go looking for it. So I think this is a definitely a worthwhile investment. I can highly recommend it. I love it, and that's not because it's German and I'm German. There are lots of nice other things that I like that aren't, like I like New Zealand wool, perfect, and the lanolin rich of course is, you've guessed it already, German, South German actually. Let's not talk about that. Right, so what else? Oh yes, I know. So you could also be extra creative and make a whole toadstool house. All of this has happened from just making a toadstool and then just decorating it, and then you can have some wool. It's a bit floppy now. The have to just make it stand up again. This, God, I am talking about the smoke of the chimney coming out. Sounded a bit rude. There you go. So that's all like going out again, or you can go sideways and then it looks like the wind is blowing, of course. And it's just lots and lots of little decorations. We were actually going to run a workshop this year in July at here in Nailsworth where we're based, and of course COVID, thank you very much, has completely messed that up for us. So that is one that we will save for another time, but it will happen eventually. So if you know how to make the toadstool, just make it nice and big, and why not make a toadstool house? Start off by making lots of toadstool, practice it, and then the inspiration will just come, no doubt. I think that's probably just about everything I can say about toadstools. So I'm just going to join your conversation a little bit now. Okay, got to scroll up a bit, I think. Okay, Emma's making Alicia laugh, but I've no idea why. So I've got to go. Definitely, we've got to find out now. Why is Emma making Alicia laugh? I had the sound off to get the update, and we'll have to start over. Okay, I read that already. Mega Mix Needles. Thank you, Emma, for sharing. Definitely have a look at those. Yes, that's me. Perfect. That's me. Perfect toadstools. Excellent. So you like perfect toadstools, Karen? Nothing wrong with that. I love a perfect toadstool as well, but I just get too impatient to do it. Love Mr. Mole. Oh, I think I've been there. The quality of the Maker's Needles. Oh, yes. Thank you, Alicia. I've read that too. We've covered needles. Let's not go over that again. That's the beauty of needle felting, isn't it? That you can take parts off and redo. I was making a sloth the other day. That's it. You can. Absolutely. Yes, I have got secret access to next month's Maker's Box instructions. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the Maker's Box instructions. That's a good idea. So basically, if you haven't spotted them yet, but they're here, it's days away now, guys. You can get super excited if you've done your Dachshunds and you're ready for the next project, then you are in the perfect place. You can, of course, if you don't know this, you can change the date of your subscription coming out to you. So because you're in charge of your own subscription, we don't tie you in a contract. You can cancel anytime. You can skip payments. So if you, for whatever reason, don't want to do a project, you can also change your payment date. And if you want to have the box very, very, very at the very, very beginning of the month, then you can do that so yourself. If you need help with us, get in touch with us, and we're really happy to help you do that. So if you normally get your box, say mid-month, and you think, oh, I really want this earlier, why is everybody else getting it earlier? Then just go onto your subscription account and change the payment date. It's so simple, and then you get it much, much sooner. So get it on the 1st, and then we ship it out, and then you have it pretty much a few days later. So that's one thing. Oh yes, and sloths. But if you still desiring to subscribe and you want the Dachshunds, then time's getting tight now. You've got another week left to get these handsome, dashing little Dachshunds. So you get to make all three, and oh, that was his bum. Excuse me. Oh, that was his bum. Okay, I'm going to, I don't know, I have to put them down, I guess, there. So you get to make a long-haired, a wire-haired, and a short-haired Dachshund. And you get the little tags and the little collars with it too. And you get wool to make a tennis ball. And they really nice, they all play nicely together. So, and then if you subscribe to if you're a subscriber, at any point, you will get in September our sea otters, which I think everybody's looking forward to, and they're just chilling out down here. I'm just going to get one with the baby. There you go. How cute is that? Really easy project to make, and yeah, you get lots of wool with it to make a scene to go with them as well, so you have a nice surround as well, and they're not just suspended in air. I'm just gonna have to have a little sip of my tea. Remember, we've got a Facebook group, Everyone a Maker. You can join that, but please answer the very simple 3 questions that we ask, because otherwise we can't let you join. We do need to know whether you know that the group is about promoting Makers products, and we also don't want you to be a shop. So we want you to be an individual, just ordinary person like me and you and everybody else. And just gonna drink now. We sell these mugs online as well, and then you can have your extra tasty tea or coffee. Some people have used it for wine out of it, and you can join our happy place at the Makers. So if you haven't signed up for the molds yet, that's on Tuesday the 28th at 7 p.m. in the evening. You pay for the tutorial on this occasion, but you can re-watch it, and you get a link, and it's yours to watch again. And we will make sure that you're not out of pocket, because we'll give you a nice discount codes and special offers exclusive for those who have actually purchased the tickets. What else? Okay. Oh yes, there's something else. I meant to mention peg dolls earlier. Oh god, I need to itch my nose. It's all that fluffy stuff that I'm working with. We have an amazing peg doll. So this ties in with the Toadstools. Amazing peg doll tutorial. It's really simple. We're dressing peg dolls in rainbows, of course. And that I need to say there is a time change for this one, and the reason for this one is because we know a very lovely lady called Margaret Bloom, who is the author of 2 amazing books on peg dolls, and I will show you one of the books anyway. And because she's in America, we've actually decided to honor her time zone, that we're doing this live stream at 4 p.m. on Monday. So it's slightly later than any of the live streams that we do, and that is only to help some of the American viewers to not have to get up at the crack of dawn or even earlier. So 4 p.m. on Monday, that's the 27th of July. I'm just going to have another little check-in, what's happening. I'm just trying to think desperately if I've missed anything. So there's always something else that I want to tell you. I've never run out of things to say. So that's the, oh yes, okay. So somebody's making giant toadstools now. I still don't know why Emma's made Alicia laugh, but then none of you will be any the wiser either. So the core will taster bags are definitely worth having, because you get not to taste, don't eat them. You get to try 6 or even 7 of our different core wools. I can't remember how many there are in there now. So cracking me up, Steffi. Oh well, I'm glad you get a little laugh in there, Alicia, because I know you're having a pretty tough time at the moment. My birthday is in September, and I adore the September fairy. Oh, I was thinking today when I was making the September fairy, thinking, oh, I wonder whose birthday it is in September. So that's quite nice. Okay, so oh, I see. So Emma's ripped the sloth face off. Yes, of course you can. You can rip anybody's face off when you're needle felting it. That's that might be a new idea actually. Needle felt somebody you don't like and then rip their face off. How about that? I have to make. Oh no, I'm going over old stuff. Peg dolls. Yes, you can always set reminders in YouTube for our videos. Excellent. That's absolutely true. So if you go onto the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, you can get alerted to our videos and live streams rather. Karen says, oh, good idea. I had no clue you could time them. I just happened to open my phone and there you were announcing today's make. So timing the... Okay. So timing the tuts. What are tuts? T-U-T-S. Okay, now you're making me laugh. What are tuts? Somebody please tell me what are tuts, so we don't miss any. Will be great. Tutorials! Tutorials! Come on, Steffi, get a grip. Timing the tuts. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so funny. Oh yes, and also I've been educated. So toadstools are fungi, and fungi are neither plants nor animals nor humans. So they're a species of their own. There you go. Karen says, love the prim tool, so effective. Thank you, Karen, for confirming that. And Pamela says the Amanita muscaria mushroom, which is deep red with white flecks, often called the Christmas mushroom, is toxic. Yes, don't eat it. Ethnomycologists or people who study fungi can tell you more. Ooh, okay. Clearly I'm not one of them because I can't even pronounce the word. Love the Toadstool cottage. Thank you, Karen. Love the prim tool. That's Valley saying that use the center single one a lot. And Alicia says, I need to make a house for the fairy now. Of course you do. And Mo says the Toadstool house is amazing. Love it. Fast hour this morning. I wish I had the prim tool yesterday when I was making my work diary cover. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I'd like to see that, Alicia. I hope you're going to share that with us. My arm hurt. That is when I noticed the needle issue. Diane says, oh, another kit, the Toadstool house. Yes, well, we haven't really put it in a kit yet. We were going to do it as a workshop, so maybe this is something that needs to be an extra for all the fairies that we've been making. So Emma's just re-emphasizing that there's always lots of information on the back of the subscription box newsletter if you need to know how to manage your subscription. And ready for the sloths. Excellent. Sloths available from August. Thank you, Emma. 1st of August, of course. And Emma's linked the Everyone a Maker group as well, so that's really good. And what else? Sorry, I'm squinting, trying to read. Spittle proof was making us laugh. We do need a demo. I am not going to put a toadstool in my mouth, I promise you. I'm not going to. Would love to make the mole. Oh, that's nice, Jackie. Well, you can sign up for it. I don't know if Emma, can you put a link to the Creative Craft Show booking place where they can book a ticket? Because that obviously you can still do that. You're killing me, Steffi. I'm not killing you laughing. At least you die happy. That's one of the main reasons to watch Karen was me making you laugh. Actually, you did make me laugh with tuts. I agree, Alicia. I'm laughing all the time just over her. Oh, thank you. Oh, I can't repeat that. Nobody calls me cute. I love the Toadstool house. Well, let's put it that way. It's been so much fun being here again and making a mushroom with you all. I can't wait to see yours. Thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. I love the reindeer. I love the penguins. I love the robins. I love everything that you share with us. it's the food for the soul that we all need to see what other people are making. And yes, so it's gonna be Friday tomorrow, and then it's gonna be weekend, and then Monday is the pectorals, and then on Tuesday it's the mold tutorial. I don't know if I'm doing anything else that week. Probably I am, but I haven't got a clue. I like living in the moment, so it will be what will be. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and stay safe, look after yourselves. All gonna wear masks tomorrow in the UK going shopping. I've got mine ready made. I don't think you're allowed to do that. You have to have a proper one. I'm actually designing a knitted one at the moment because I just want to be different. But in the meantime, I've got a sewn one, and that's it really, I think. So stay safe, everybody. Take care, and have a really good weekend if I don't see you or speak to you before. Bye bye.